beaches of Normandy were secure 3 weeks after D-Day, but the Allied advance was stalled. Supplies dwindled, tanks, ammunition, food and reinforcements couldn't reach the front lines fast enough. Cherbourg, the only deep-water port in Normandy, was the key to breaking the deadlock. Without it, the invasion risked collapse. Hitler knew this. He transformed Cherbourg into a death trap, heavily mined, wired and defended by thousands of determined troops, with orders to hold it at all costs. The US Army fought brutally for every block of the city. Progress was agonizingly slow. Then, a ragtag band of unlikely heroes slipped behind enemy lines. They moved swiftly, neutralizing bunkers, wiping out machine gun nests, and leaving 400 stunned German soldiers with no option but immediate surrender. Discovering 52 American paratroopers from the 101st Airborne languishing in a Nazi dungeon, their quiet commander, a man named Quentin Walsh, made a bold, almost insane decision. He marched directly to the dungeon gates and informed the German guards that they were surrounded by 800 furious commandos thirsting for revenge. The truth? He had only 15 men left. Yet the Germans believed his bluff, hook, line, and sinker. Walsh and his men strolled out of Cherbourg, accompanied by 750 German prisoners of war, 52 liberated American paratroopers, and the prize jewel of Normandy, the port of Cherbourg. Quentin Walsh's path to this audacious battlefield manoeuvre didn't begin on the beaches of Normandy. It started far earlier, chasing rum runners. Born in Providence, Rhode Island in 1910, Walsh graduated from the US Coast Guard Academy in 1933. His early career involved hunting smugglers along the East Coast, patrolling from Cuba to Nova Scotia, enforcing whaling treaties. He even spent a year aboard a whaling ship in Antarctic waters, an experience that honed his seamanship and sharpened his problem-solving skills. When World War II erupted, Walsh was assigned to Atlantic convoy duty. By 1943, the US military sought unconventional thinkers for the D-Day invasion. They sent Walsh to London to help plan how the Allies would maintain control of the beachheads after landing. The challenge was clear. Victory wouldn't solely depend on storming the beaches, but on sustaining momentum. The Army Corps of Engineers offered a temporary solution: Mulberry harbours, floating piers to unload cargo on the beaches. But these were temporary. The Allies needed a proper deep-water port, making Cherbourg at the tip of the Cottenton Peninsula the primary objective after the initial landing. Walsh's mission: secure the harbour's functionality before the Germans could destroy it. He didn't wait for a large force. Instead, he proposed an audacious plan: a naval reconnaissance and demolition unit that would land with the army, penetrate the chaos, and secure the port before the Germans could wreak havoc. He helped design the plan and volunteered to lead it. The team was small, only 53 men, mainly CBS, Seabees from the Navy's construction battalions. These weren't traditional infantry. They were welders, builders, divers, combat-trained engineers. Under Walsh's command, however, they transformed into a high-speed commando unit capable of seizing a fortified port under fire and making it operational before the smoke cleared. On June 6, 1944, D-Day, weather delayed their mission. 3 days later, they landed on Utah Beach and joined the US Army's 79th Infantry Division, heading north towards Cherbourg. For over 2 weeks, the Germans fought fiercely, fortified bunkers, artillery crews, and die-hard naval units transforming the city into an impenetrable fortress. By June 22nd, Cherbourg was isolated, but resistance remained relentless. On June 26th, as American infantry finally breached the city's defences, Walsh and his Seabees advanced on the eastern side of Cherbourg, inching forward under heavy fire, fighting from house to house, block by block. Walsh led from the front, alongside his men, aggressively clearing buildings and returning fire. In the port district, they encountered a German machine gun nest. They responded swiftly with grenades and Tommy guns, eliminating the threat. Despite suffering 25% casualties, they pressed onward. On June 27th, Walsh selected a 16-man strike team and assaulted the sprawling Cherbourg arsenal, a vast complex of warehouses and bunkers. Armed with demolition charges, rifles and bazookas, they breached steel doors, clearing room after room in brutal close-quarters combat. Sniper nests, bunkers and defenders fell one by one. In the ensuing chaos, over 400 stunned German sailors and soldiers surrendered to Walsh's minuscule force. But the battle wasn't over. During the mopping-up operation at the Cherbourg arsenal, a captured German prisoner, fluent in English, and having grown up in the United States revealed crucial information to Walsh. He disclosed that 52 American paratroopers from the 82nd and 101st Airborne, misdropped on D-Day, were being held captive in a fortress at the harbour's edge, a place known as Fort de Roule. These paratroopers, battle-hardened veterans, were imprisoned in the dungeon of this stone citadel overlooking the harbour. Nearly 350 battle-hardened German troops were entrenched within its walls, a formidable force guarding the strategically vital location. Walsh had a little over a dozen men remaining, no room for error. A direct assault would be suicide. Walsh devised a plan, a masterful bluff. He produced a white silk handkerchief, improvising a flag of truce, and turned to his lieutenant, Navy Reserve Lieutenant Frank Lowry. "Ever play poker?" he asked. Together, Walsh and Lowry walked directly to the fortress gates, advancing under fire, and requested a meeting with the German commander. Surprisingly, they were granted access. Inside the fortress, in a second-floor room, Walsh began his performance. He spun a tale so audacious, so improbable, it was almost unbelievable. He informed the German officer that he was completely surrounded by 800 crazed paratroopers, each one maddened by bloodlust and ready for revenge. "They aren't soldiers anymore," Walsh declared, his voice dripping with fabricated menace. "They're animals, covered in blood, tearing through the city, scalping Germans as we speak. I'm the only thing standing between you and them." He leaned in conspiratorially, adding, "Surrender to me now. Maybe I can hold them back. Maybe." The truth was starkly different. Walsh possessed a mere 15 men, a motley crew of welders, carpenters and electricians, putting on a brave show outside with M1 rifles, Tommy guns, and empty bazookas. They were low on ammunition, lacked heavy weapons, and were bluffing with their lives hanging in the balance. Because indeed, their lives did depend on it. At 10 a.m. on June 27th, 1944, Fort de Roule surrendered without a single shot fired. All 350 German troops laid down their arms. Walsh's men secured the release of the 52 dazed but alive American paratroopers. In just 2 days, with a mere 53 men, Walsh's team had captured approximately 750 Germans, secured the vital harbour, and rescued fellow Americans, all without tanks, artillery or reinforcements. Cherbourg was now in Allied hands, but it was a devastated wreck. The Germans had systematically sabotaged the docks, mined the harbour, and sunk ships to block access. Even before the last German guns fell silent, Walsh shifted gears, instantly transitioning from combat commander to resourceful logistical leader. He established a naval operations centre on the waterfront, gathering intelligence from captured Germans and local French workers, and began organising salvage operations. He bypassed bureaucratic red tape, working directly with minesweepers and even utilising wooden sailboats, which wouldn't trigger magnetic mines, as improvised minesweepers. Thanks to Walsh's decisive leadership, the first supply ships reached Cherbourg within weeks. By August, the port was fully operational, arriving just in time to support Patton's breakthrough and the Allied push across France. General Eisenhower later attributed the port's rapid reopening to the significant acceleration of the liberation of Europe. For his extraordinary actions, Commander Quentin R. Walsh received the Navy Cross, the second highest US military decoration for valor. His citation lauded his capture of 2 major strongholds, the surrender of 750 enemy troops and the rescue of 52 American paratroopers. With Cherbourg secured, Walsh's contributions didn't end. In August 1944, he took command of a larger 400-man unit to assist in liberating the critical ports of Brittany. He later collaborated with Canadian forces to open the port of Lorient, again under enemy fire. By the end of the year, however, his relentless drive was abruptly halted. A severe respiratory illness, viral pneumonia exacerbated by months spent in the cold, damp English climate, forced his return to the United States. He medically retired in 1946. In peacetime, Walsh traded his uniform for a quiet life in Maryland, becoming a high school science teacher, working as a parole officer, and serving his community without seeking recognition. During the Korean War, the military recalled him for his unique expertise, a testament to his exceptional skills and unwavering commitment to his country. He passed away in May 2000 at the age of 90, one of the last living legends of D-Day. In 2019, the US Navy announced a new Arleigh Burke-class destroyer would be named in his honour, the USS Quentin Walsh, DDG-132, the first Navy destroyer ever named for a Coast Guard officer. At the naming ceremony in Cherbourg, US and French officials hailed Walsh's actions as one of the most inspirational stories of the Normandy campaign, a truly remarkable achievement. The story of Quentin Walsh, the Coast Guardsman who single-handedly changed the course of the Normandy campaign, is a testament to courage, ingenuity, and an unwavering commitment to duty. His actions in securing the port of Cherbourg weren't merely a military victory, they were a strategic triumph that significantly impacted the Allied advance across Europe. The rapid reopening of Cherbourg allowed for a continuous flow of vital supplies, ammunition, reinforcements, and medical aid to the front lines. This timely influx dramatically altered the balance of power, turning the tide of the war in favour of the Allies. Before Walsh's intervention, the Allied forces were struggling to maintain their momentum. The limited capacity of the initial beachhead landings meant that the troops were severely hampered by a shortage of essential supplies. The Germans, aware of the critical nature of the situation, had meticulously prepared Cherbourg as an impregnable fortress. They had anticipated the Allied push towards the port, and were prepared to defend it with every available resource, including booby traps, landmines, and fortifications. The fighting for Cherbourg had been brutal and protracted, with heavy losses suffered by both sides. The German forces were entrenched, making traditional military tactics ineffective. This is where Walsh's unorthodox approach proved invaluable. His unconventional strategies and bold tactics, particularly his audacious bluff at Fort de Roule, demonstrated a level of strategic thinking far beyond what was expected of a relatively small specialized unit. His ability to assess the situation, identify the key vulnerabilities, and exploit them with precision and courage is worthy of considerable praise. The capture of the Cherbourg arsenal and Fort de Roule, both heavily fortified positions, and the liberation of the American paratroopers were significant achievements in themselves. However, these were mere stepping stones towards the ultimate goal, the operationalization of the port. Following the capture of Cherbourg, Walsh wasted no time in launching the port's reconstruction. He understood that the port's rapid recovery was not just strategically important, but also a matter of life and death for the Allied troops. He immediately established a makeshift naval operations centre, working day and night alongside the remaining Seabees and local French workers. Walsh's dedication to the task and his disregard for bureaucratic red tape proved instrumental in overcoming the obstacles. He cut through the layers of command, directly coordinating with the minesweepers and engineers to remove the extensive minefields, and utilised readily available resources, including the aforementioned sailboats, to clear the harbour. He understood that speed was of the essence and that every moment counted. The success of Walsh's efforts wasn't simply due to his military acumen, but also to his ability to inspire and lead his men. His leadership style was based on trust, mutual respect, and a shared sense of purpose. His troops knew that he was not someone who sat safely behind the lines while ordering others into danger. He was out there alongside them, facing the same perils, leading by example, sharing the same risks and burdens. This kind of leadership fosters loyalty and inspires extraordinary acts of courage. The speedy reopening of the port of Cherbourg profoundly impacted the Allied advance. General Patton's Third Army was heavily reliant on the continuous flow of supplies from Cherbourg. The port's readiness to receive and offload cargo allowed the Third Army to maintain its momentum, preventing any potential delays that could have significantly altered the trajectory of the campaign. The liberation of France progressed much more quickly and efficiently because of this timely strategic gain. The rapid pace of the Allied advance created considerable difficulties for the German forces, who were now forced to fight on multiple fronts, unable to concentrate their strength. This strategic advantage significantly reduced their overall fighting capacity and ultimately hastened the end of the war. Walsh's contribution to this critical turning point is undeniable. His actions had a profound and lasting impact on the outcome of World War II in Europe. His legacy, however, extends far beyond the battlefield. Quentin Walsh's story is one of resilience, ingenuity, and unwavering devotion to duty. He epitomized the spirit of the Allied forces, displaying an extraordinary capacity to adapt, improvise, and overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges. His ability to work collaboratively and forge strong bonds with his men and with the local French population was as crucial to his success as his military expertise. His contributions served as a powerful inspiration for others, demonstrating that even a relatively small and unconventional unit could achieve remarkable results through courage, determination, and skillful leadership. His story continues to resonate today, a timeless tale of bravery and ingenuity in the face of overwhelming odds. The naming of a US Navy destroyer after him is a fitting tribute to a truly extraordinary officer and a testament to his remarkable contributions to the Allied victory in World War II. His story inspires generations of soldiers and civilians alike to strive for excellence, courage, and selfless dedication in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. His legacy endures as a source of pride and inspiration for all who hear his story. The impact of Quentin Walsh's actions at Cherbourg resonated far beyond the immediate battlefield. His audacious plan, brilliantly executed, not only secured a vital port but also dramatically altered the strategic landscape of the Normandy campaign. The rapid flow of supplies through Cherbourg fueled the Allied advance, contributing significantly to the liberation of France and ultimately the defeat of Nazi Germany. His story, often overlooked in the grand narratives of World War II, stands as a testament to the power of decisive leadership and unconventional thinking. The speed with which Walsh's team cleared the port of Cherbourg was remarkable. While the Germans had meticulously prepared defensive positions, Walsh's combined use of stealth, tactical surprise, and audacious deception completely destabilized their meticulously laid plans. The element of surprise, coupled with the effective use of limited resources, proved key to the success of his operations. His ability to adapt quickly to ever-changing battlefield conditions highlighted his remarkable adaptability. The swift capture of the port not only ensured the steady flow of supplies, but also prevented the Germans from inflicting further damage on the port infrastructure. Had the Germans been given more time, the extensive sabotage they had planned might have delayed the Allied advance for months. The timely securing of Cherbourg averted a potential disaster. The rescue of the 52 American paratroopers is another notable aspect of Walsh's story. These men, lost and captured behind enemy lines, represented a critical loss of manpower and morale had they remained captive. Their liberation not only boosted morale, but also provided valuable intelligence on German troop movements and defences. Beyond the immediate military victories, Walsh's actions also had a significant psychological impact. His audacious bluff at Fort de Roule was a masterclass in deception, illustrating the power of strategic thinking and courage in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. This event became a legend among Allied troops, bolstering morale and demonstrating that even the most heavily fortified positions could be overcome with boldness and ingenuity. Walsh's contributions extended far beyond the immediate events at Cherbourg. His experience in coastal operations and his proficiency in mine clearance proved invaluable in the subsequent liberation of other crucial ports along the French coastline. His ability to coordinate with other Allied units, particularly the Canadian forces at Lorient, showcased his exceptional leadership and his capacity to work effectively within a multinational context. The post-war life of Quentin Walsh was a study in quiet dignity and unassuming heroism. He eschewed the limelight, preferring a life of service to his community as a teacher and parole officer. His selfless dedication to his country extended beyond the battlefield, highlighting his commitment to duty and public service. Even in retirement, Walsh remained a vital resource for the military, called upon during the Korean War for his expertise. This illustrates the enduring value of his skills and the respect he commanded within the military community. His unwavering commitment to public service remained a defining characteristic throughout his life. The naming of the USS Quentin Walsh, a modern Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, is a fitting tribute to his legacy. This honour not only recognises his extraordinary wartime contributions, but also celebrates the values he embodied: courage, ingenuity, leadership, and unwavering devotion to duty. The naming ceremony in Cherbourg, attended by both US and French officials, served as a powerful reminder of his enduring contribution to the liberation of France and Europe. Quentin Walsh's story is a powerful reminder that heroism can take many forms. It's a story of strategic brilliance, quiet competence, and unwavering courage in the face of adversity. His actions in Normandy were not just pivotal moments in a larger conflict. They were acts of extraordinary leadership that shaped the course of World War II and continue to inspire generations of military personnel and civilians alike. His legacy stands as a beacon of what can be achieved through audacity, decisive leadership, and a deep commitment to duty. He remains a true unsung hero of